And there we are. Welcome once again to the True Mouse Games YouTube channel, and welcome to another D&D one-shot. This one is called The Corpse Field, and it is a third-level D&D one-shot set in the realm of Orelon. It is called The Corpse Field because a fresh battlefield features a fairly significant role, plays a fairly significant role in this adventure, and you will see why very soon. Warning, this will be fairly dark as far as D&D adventures go, and will definitely feature adult content and possibly also adult language. So consider yourselves warned, you of feeble heart. Now, let us jump straight into it with our four players, who will be introducing their characters very soon. And let me give you a little bit of an introduction to the very adventure. Now, this adventure, as I said before, is set in the realm of Orelon, a once mighty realm that has been brought low by a terrible plague called the Red Death that struck the realm about 10 to 12 years ago and wiped out about 25% of the population. There was a lot of suffering, and the royal family was amongst the victims. Everyone but one single youngest of the princes. This man, this prince, is now 16, and he is being prepared to be crowned king soon. But in the last 10 years, ever since the Red Plague, there's been a lot of chaos, a lot of infighting, a lot of intrigues in the kingdom as high nobles and high priests jostle for power, scheme against one another, and scheme against the young prince who lacks the experience and the power to, with a strong hand, unite the quarreling nobles again. And the quarrels between the nobles play a very significant role in this adventure. This is set in the northern provinces of Orelon, and close to a village called Ironbark. Ironbark is a fairly small village, about 250 or so people. Simple farming community, not too much more, but it has gained significance over the last couple days because it is very close to the so-called Swallow Fields. The Swallow Fields are a large plain, and that large plain is very well suited for a warfare. There has been squabbles and skirmishes between the men of Baron Valdemar of Greenhill and Count Leopold of Silvar within the last couple weeks. Those two noblemen have always had an eye out for each other's lands, and without an higher nobleman to stop them, these machinations have turned into all-out war very recently. Both of the noblemen have gathered a couple hundred soldiers to their name, and they have clashed on the Swallow Fields. Just a few hours ago, in fact, there has been a battle. The people of Ironbark were mostly unaffected by the presence of the soldiers, thankfully enough. The two nobles did not allow their men to plunder the countryside, maybe because of the goods of their heart, or maybe, as most people seem to think, they just didn't have the time because they were more focused on killing one another, which is fine with most of the peasants here. However, the battle has ended, and only recently, about an hour or two ago, have people who have been watching the battle from afar come into the city, the village of Ironbark, and come into the Three Cups Inn, where our adventure is starting, the only inn, a shoddy little place in Ironbark. And these men have brought the news that Baron Valdemar's troops have been vanquished, his lines have been broken, and his men have fled the battlefield, pursued by Count Leopold's troops. Now, this was, as I said, a few hours ago, so the battle is still fresh, and it is still the only thing that people talk about. We are, as I said, in the Three Cups Inn, and our heroes, or I don't know if that's the right word, today's player characters have found themselves sitting at the very same table in the back of the tavern. They do not know each other very well. Maybe they have introduced each other by necessity, because they have been basically pressured by the locals to sit at the same table because they are the only strangers in the inn. Everyone else is local peasants who have not been working on the fields today. Instead, they have assembled in the Three Cups Inn to talk about the noblemen and their wars, and to listen out for news and discuss what the future might bring. Now, the Three Cups Inn is a fairly dirty place, made up of simple wooden benches, a few tables, few footstools, very simple, mostly of wood. The air is very damp and full of the smell of sweat and cheap beer. There is a large fireplace. The chimney seems partially blocked, so there's smoke curling around the interior of the tavern itself. The innkeeper, a fairly fat, older man with a very dirty apron, seems to not be too interested in business today, for he mingles with the locals and is mostly busy talking. However, our four heroes for the evening, as I already said, are sitting in the back on a single table, shunned by most of the locals, except for some that give them dirty looks every now and then when they think that they're not watching. And they are busy, I guess, eating the little bit of food and drinking the not particularly good-smelling or well-tasting beer in the 3 Cups Inn. You probably haven't had 3 Cups ever since you arrived here, so the inn's name is probably not very fitting, in your opinion. Anyway, as this is happening, let me give our players the chance to introduce their characters a little bit. And we will be starting with Michael on our very left, who is playing our half-orc barbarian for the evening. Go ahead, Michael, please introduce your character.
Hello, my name is Galros of House Primrose. Most people affectionately call me Gronk, as my history tutor did there, due to my inability to grasp his well-prepared lessons. I'm not the smartest half-orc. I'm the half-breed son of my mother, who was a princess to the Primrose clan, but was brutally raped by an orc chieftain, and she died in childbirth. But my grandfather, her father, took pity on me and raised me as a noble. I learned how to fight and various other things. Honor and gallantry was given to me. However, upon the death of my grandfather and my uncle, my mother's brother, took the throne of his land, he exiled me, fearing that I may lineage, because many of the folks approved of me due to my gallantry and arms, while he is a conniving coward. But I give him no quarrels. I'm a well-dressed half-orc in a red velvet, almost maroon doublet that's a little worn, seen better days, and my shield still carries the markings of the Heldrick symbol of House Primrose, a small little bush with red dots simulating roses, and I'm well-jeweled at my side. It's quite nice. And I found myself here wondering what battlefield may need assistance, for I've seen the carnage of war and wish to bring of those poor fools who have suffered it. Galros. All
right, a rather unusual half-orc barbarian, if I may say so. And we'll see how this plays out. So we'll be continuing on to Marcus, who is playing Artmund, the human paladin, tonight. Go ahead, Marcus, to give us a quick description of your character.
You see a very large human in a chainmail, on the side of the table, lean a large longsword and a even larger shield with the symbol of Kalimdor, a skeletal arm holding up scales in balance. He is sent here by the Church of Kalimdor to help putting the dead to rest and make sure they stay there.
And in fact, indeed, your order might very well have some work cut out for them very soon in this area, if the fighting between the nobles grows even more.
They have some experience.
Yes, definitely.
That will rise after some fears.
All right, and that is Artmund. So we'll be moving over to James, who is playing Fenris, a half-elven rogue tonight. Go ahead, James. Give us a description of your character, please.
Okay, I'm sitting slightly apart from the rest. I'm a cloaked figure. My hood is down, and you will notice that even though I have elven features, my ears, which would normally be pointed, have been cut, and the tops of my ears are now filled with scar tissue, which basically just shows that my elven ears have been cut down to look like human ears, either by myself or by someone else. I consider myself well known as by various names. I'm a master thief and a master of disguise, and I'm known throughout the lands for various exploits, but under different names. People will probably recognize me by my exploits rather than my name.
Oh, probably not here. Ironbark is a fairly backwater village.
Well, and they deserve everything they get. So I am basically, I'm here to earn money. And that's what I'm here for. I'm very much a person who copes for himself. I travel across the land. I do what I need to do to get coin, and then move on to the next place.
All right. And strife and war brings opportunity. You know that very well.
Right, exactly.
Okay. And that is Fenris. And last but not least, we are moving over to Derek, a human champion fighter, played by Serbai tonight. Please go ahead, Serbai.
Hello. Well, Derek is not the brightest fellow. He sees gold. That's the thing he's going for. The reason why he joined this, for him, expedition is to get the riches of the soldiers that are lying dead on the fields. He's a scavenger. Sometimes he's a mercenary as well, but the dead don't fight back when you try to take their gold. So, yeah.
I wouldn't
Mostly they don't. So that's where he sticks his hands.
All right.
He has a chainmail and a smaller shield, not that huge like the paladin over there. And his favorite weapon is a battle axe. Himself, he's bold and bold. Yeah, bold. That's the right word. And as I said, doesn't look really bright, but still, you don't want to anger him. That's not a good decision.
Okay. And that is our party for the evening. As you are sitting in the 3 cups in this shoddy little place, thinking to themselves, how did I end up here amongst these peasants, these uncultured swine, depending on who you are. And what did I do, and what will I do in the next couple of days? You have none of you has been part of the war of the nobles against one another. Some of you might not have no interest to stand on a battlefield. Others might have no interest to join in the what you might perceive as the squabbles of noblemen who should really do better things than fight their little wars and have men die for their own greed, But anyway, here you are. As you are sitting there, as I said, people giving you the evil eye every now and then. You've been sitting there for a few hours, probably ever since lunch, and definitely have heard the news of the defeat of Baron Valdemar and his men and the victory of Count Leopold. And you can hear the bubbling conversations of people. There's a flute player somewhere in the group trying to play his way to a supper. He's not extremely good, and most people don't really seem to listen to him. He's hardly earned any money if the look on his face is any indication for his success. And people are just talking about war and the consequences, the potential consequences of the defeat of Baron Valdemar and what might happen. Some are worried that the soldiers, the victorious soldiers, might run rampaging through the countryside, maybe even attacking Ironbark itself. But most people think that it is not very likely. The village itself does not have much money. It's fairly poor, and there's really not much here for the soldiers to take. However, as you are sitting around, the door opens, and a large man steps inside, and immediately a lot of gazes focus on him, for he is, as you are, definitely a stranger. You can see he's a large man, wide-shouldered, slightly older already, maybe in his mid-40s or so, cleanly shaven with very, very close cropped hair. He's wearing a studded leather armor, and you see what looks to be remains of some sort of cloak, but the cloak has been torn away, and you can just see around his neck basically is a little bit of green, what remains from the cloak. He has a short sword one side, and he looks tired as he steps into the inn. He's looking around, and you can see his eyes are bloodshot. There's dark circles underneath him, and his face is pale. He looks tired. He looks like he hasn't slept well, if at all. And he might even be slightly wounded, judging by the way he favors one of his arms. He's looking around the inn. He stumbles over to the innkeeper, seems to give him a couple coins, grabs a mug of beer, drains it down in several mighty gulps, puts it back, turns around. Conversations have mostly stopped. A lot of people are now watching him. But as he stops and just does nothing but observe for about half a minute or so, conversations step back in, and the flute player starts playing again. The man on the bar, now leaning against the wall on the side, is looking your way, towards your table. You can see him glancing over to you every now and then. And then finally he pushes himself off the wall and comes into your direction.
Galros will stand, almost practically about as tall as this man, for I am a large half-orc, and slightly bow and say, "Good evening, sir. You look like you're wounded and tired, in need of some comfort. By all means, have a seat here at our table and take fellowship and a load off your tired legs. Do you require any assistance?"
He gives you a look of basically unexpected thanks. He clearly didn't expect a fairly warm welcome, especially from the half-orc of the group. Gives you a thankful nod and sinks down into a chair that he pulls up from one of the neighboring tables. One of the farmers who just sits and basically wanted to take that chair gives him a look, but the man glances back and the farmer just turns and steps away. Man sits down, basically slumps down into the chair, says, "Thank you, sir. You're a good fella. Thank you. Been on my feet for a while."
It does take people aback that I have been raised with manners from time to time, but I take no offense at that. You look as if you have stories to tell. What has occurred to you to make you and leave you in such distraught shape?
Well, let's just say I had a rough day.
Well,
You
fair
fellas.
enough.
He takes a couple moments to just breathe and look you over and say, you fellas, you're not from the village, are you?
I do not know these others, but they do not appear to be regular. Are you all from this village?
Derek just eats, he ignores them.
Alright, well, you look well armed and halfway capable anyway, no matter if you're from here or not. Might need your help. The name's Anders. My employer might need a few men. Halfway capable men who can look out for themselves, well armed fellas. There's some gold in for you if you're interested.
How much?
Not sure how much my employer can offer, but it's gonna be more than enough to live for a couple weeks in a tavern like this one.
As long as the deed is noble, you may have my sword and shield to assist in whatever is required.
Well, I can tell you that much. It's a noble deed, yes. My employer is a young knight himself. He wouldn't expect any bad things from you. He's in fact waiting in the stables. Sent me in to look if there's any people who could help us out.
Yes, sir. Get here and rest up. I shall go out there.
No, no, I'll lead you up. I haven't come here to sit around. We probably have to get going soon anyway.
Food and rest first before you go. You do look so distraught.
I can do that later. First, I need to introduce you to Sir Gilbert. If you would want to. He looks around the other three.
I already have plans. What's the payment? Otherwise, I'm not moving.
You'll have to talk to Sir Gilbert about it. I don't know how much.
Being you do good deeds, human. People look at me ill for my race, but look at you.
Good deeds
For
don't fill
acting
my
ill.
belly. And I just
Man does
finish
not live
what I
off
have in
bread
front of
and
me.
water alone.
All right. The man looks over at Fenris and Artmund. What about you two?
Well, I kind of look around and I say, this place is beginning to stink. If there's gold in it, then I need the fresh air and payment. So count me in.
All right. It's good to know. We'll need at least 3 people, I'd say, for the job.
I give him the suspicious look over. Can I make a insight check?
Certainly. Give me an insight check.
Good idea. I'm just taking this guy at face
Wow,
value.
22. Wow. Okay. So you give him a good look, and you realize that this man, by the way he's holding himself and the way his armor is made, and the little bit of green that you can see on his that was once a coat, you think this man was once part of the army of Greenhill, of Baron Valdemar's army, the army of the troops that have lost, the side that has lost. And in fact, looking at his armor, you see that there was once some sort of pin on his chest that has been removed, but there is still the shape of the pin left over, where dirt has been not hit the chest of the armor. And you think he must have been a sergeant once, in fact, not just a normal soldier. He seems honest. He seems tired. He probably fled the battlefield not too long ago. And he certainly doesn't seem to be interested in any illegal, or maybe not illegal, but any dark dealings. Let's put it that way. He doesn't look the kind of man to you.
I want to seize him up. Do I see a pouch on his belt or something?
You do see a pouch in his belt, yes.
Well, I might come if I get what's in there, and I point towards it.
He looks
If
down.
you need a good hand, and just turn around my battle axe.
Sure. Well, sure. I'm afraid there's not much in there. He just puts the pouch on the table. Take it if you want.
I take it, open it, and look inside.
Yeah, there's a handful of silver and like 2 gold coins. They're all in all about maybe 4 gold in there.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay.
If this is for a good cause, but I will not take any sides in this battle.
Oh, no. He gives you a slightly surprised look, looks around and says, "We don't want you to take sides. It's a family business that my employer wants you to take care of, not political. And just wants us, fuck the Baron and fuck the Count. I'm done with them."
What's your name again?
Anders. My name's Anders.
You seem wounded, Anders. What happened?
Well, nothing big. A horse hit me in the leg. But I can walk. So,
Very well, I have still other business to do, so
are you
hurry
coming?
up.
All right, follow
I
me.
stand up.
Yes.
He stands up and leads you out. You can see many gazers just following you now that the five strangers leaving the tavern, and the door closes behind you. And you're honestly fairly happy to be out there. It is a gray, overcast day, maybe about a good hour or so until nightfall, or maybe not even that much. It's already getting dusk. The sun has not been seen for most of the day. There's a few drops of rain falling down every now and then, but it's not really cold to be called even a shower, just a few drops. He leads you towards the stables, which is a small building on the side of the tavern proper. He steps inside. The stables are fairly dark. Even though the windows are open, there's no lanterns or anything lit in there. And you can see a couple mules and 2 horses that look fairly tired, both of them. The 2 horses are held by a young man who's leaning against one of the columns holding the stables up, one of the wooden columns. He looks tired. His head is hanging down. He's dressed in very fine chainmail. You can see that even in the twilight of the stables. And there's a long sword at his hip. He has a bandage under his armor. You can see it peeking out at the left side of his shoulder. And there's a little bit of blood on his armor still, a little bit of dried blood. And there is the smell of dried blood inside the stables as you step inside, for those of you who have a bit sharper senses. He looks up as you step in, and you can see there's a few tears running down his face. His face is fairly dirty. His eyes are red shot. And he looks tired, very, very tired, barely holding himself up, basically. He looks like he's been crying. He wipes away the moisture and the tears from his eyes as you step in, and a bit shakily stands up, pushes himself away from the column, and says, "You found someone then, Sergeant?" Yes, my lord. These people were in the inn. They're not locals, and they look like they could want to earn a little bit of coin. So I brought him here. Hope they can help us. I'm sure they'll do just fine. You. My name's Sir Gilbert. You're willing to work for money?
Alex, I just count up. Yeah, I scavenged some battlefields before, so if I would think about how many men fought there, if I would just straight go out there and start to collect, what do you think I would get together?
It's hard to say. It's very hard to say. You don't know exactly how many men there were. You don't know how many fell, how many died, and you don't know if the victorious army has already plundered or not. There might also be other scavengers on the battlefield. There's like a million different possibilities, so it's impossible to say. Sometimes a scavenger might find like a dead noble with a jewel-encrusted sword or something and make like 100 gold easily. Most of the time, you're just looking for like nice looking helmets, like still decently preserved weapons. So that's like maybe a couple dozen gold at the most, if you're lucky. It's not very. It's not a booming business.
On the average, I would say 50 gold.
That's probably a very good picking already. Possible,
okay.
But unlikely.
Yeah. Okay. Just
Yeah.
Thanks.
Sure. Yeah, he looks at you and says, "So you're willing to work for money?"
I'm willing to help a fellow out who is in obvious need.
That's good to hear.
Please, there's no need for you to stand. You appear injured. You have shown sufficient strength. Here, rest up. You may sit down. You have already proven yourself a worthy warrior and need no more show strength.
He looks over at Anders, and the sergeant just gives him a nod, and he sinks back down, sort of sits down onto one of the benches inside the stables and says, "Thank you, friend. I'm sorry for the way I'm presenting myself. It's not worthy of a knight, but..."
May I take a look at the wound?
No, that's not necessary. It's fine. It's not too heavy. I'll live. And also, we don't have much time.
I'm with the church.
Yes, I see. In the symbol of your shield. It's good to know that the gods have not forsaken us completely, even in these difficult times.
Yeah, this is all good and well, but can we get back to talking about the money?
Yes, what do you pay?
Of course. Well,
I'll take the share of these two if they don't want it.
I have 200 gold on me at the moment. Can give you that much. And also, well, that's 50 gold for each of you. For a couple hours work.
I look towards the elf. Well, I guess 100, 100, because they don't want any.
Well, I reckon let's keep it as 200.
Excuse me, sir. You may
Excuse me.
appear to be mistaking my desire to help people with my lack of taking what rightfully belongs to me.
Wasn't the
For
joy of
money,
helping enough for you?
Is enough, and if he could not pay, I would still help. But if he is capable of paying, I will accept
Yes.
payment equal to you.
I do not expect anyone to help me for free. I am not a pauper. I am not a peasant. I can pay for your services.
Like a true nobleman. If he could not, then I would still be obliged to help. But since he can, I'm not up to giving you any payment of mine.
Yes.
That was also spoken by a true nobleman. Well done.
And
What I
I
will
have
say is
already
We will
worked
take the
too.
200, and then we will see who's left after. And then we'll divide up amongst those.
Fair enough, good sir. If you're so concerned with coin and scavenging field, if I do not make it through this battle, you may pluck it from my dead palm.
I don't need your permission, but I will do. Thanks.
I like you. Now, what's the job about?
Well, it's about my father. My father's name is Sir Gregory of Red Roost, or his name was Sir Gregory of Red Roost. He's fallen in battle. He's been left behind in the field. The job, as you call it, I want you to retrieve his body, bring it back to me, so I can bury it in the family crypt. As it is proper. Also, if you can, retrieve my father's sword, True Heart. It is our family sword, and I would very much like to hold it in my hands again.
How would I know this sword?
Sword man.
Well, my father was a big man, dressed in plate mail. He wore a white cloak with a red rooster on it, clutching a sword in its talons. He has a helmet with wings on the side, very distinct. I've never seen the like. He was mostly bald, grey-black hair, muscular man in his late 40s. Sword, True Heart. It's a 1.5-hander. About this long, he spreads his arms. With a single green stone in the hilt. The hilt itself is formed like the wings of a cockatrice. With a cockatrice's head forming the hilt itself. And the stone, its eyes. It is probably close to where my father is dead, lying dead.
Well,
I can understand your torment and will do this if, God willing, I will do my utmost to bring these back to you. I fully understand the longing for the lineage items, and I'll kind of pull out my sword and show it a little bit and be like, this belonged to my grandfather, the Lord Primrose.
Oh. So then you know what he's like, yes?
Yes. I can deeply understand plight. I will do my utmost to see it is done.
Chitter chatter quack quack. There are other people looking for on the battlefield. If we want to hurry and find this fancy sword, we should go now. Money. And I show him my bare hand.
The knight stumbles over to his horse and puts one hand in the saddlebag, takes out a money pouch, and makes to throw it towards you. But Sergeant Anders steps in the way. Says, "Not so fast, my lord. Don't think that all of these men are trustworthy. They might take the money and just despair. Maybe
Why would
just
they
give them
think
half. Just give them half for
If
now.
you wish.
I'm sure that's going to be enough for them."
That's reasonable.
You may keep my half if you wish. If I could borrow one of those horses instead, it may be beneficial in bringing back
I
the
think
remains.
I think we're going to probably need more than a horse to bring him back. I think we're going to need a wagon. If he's in plate mail armor, we're going to need a wagon and probably these 2 mules.
You do not need to take back the armor if you don't want. That is.
Do you want
the
us to
armor,
strip him naked on the field?
if necessary. I care about his body, not his pride. He's dead.
He's dead anyway.
But you might be right.
Right.
We cannot, I'm afraid, spare our own horses. We might need them very soon. And we only have the 2, and they are exhausted anyway. But
Perhaps the stable master has a mule and cart that he could rent us.
Sergeant Anders says, "I'll talk to the innkeeper. I saw a small cart in the back, and just take one of the mules to pull it."
I thought you are strong, half-orc.
Excuse me. What?
I thought you are strong, half-orc.
Oh, he's not strong enough to carry Sir Gregory with his plate mail back all the way from here. The battlefield's about an hour away.
Of course, there could be other things on the battlefield we may want to bring back with us as well. So having a cart could be beneficial in the long term.
Sir Gilbert gives you this look of disgust and says, "Well, if you wish to scavenge and plunder, that is your choice. I want nothing to do with that, but bring me my father."
I make sure to keep them from such things.
Well, Sergeant Anders says, "Well, you take the cart. You leave as quickly as possible. Take the mule. I'll take care of the innkeeper if he has a problem with it. We have a few coins to spare." And Sir Gilbert has no need to get violent, my friend. He takes off one of his gauntlets, and you can see he has 2 golden rings underneath. Takes off one, gives it to Sergeant Anders, and says, "Give that to the innkeeper. That should be more than enough to pay for the mule and the cart. More than enough."
You shall get your ring back when we return mule and cart in good condition.
Sergeant Anders steps up to you, Gronk. He pats you on the shoulder and says, "You're a good man. What's your name?"
I'm Galros Primrose, but most just call me Gronk. A little nickname I was given as a small lad.
Right. Gronk. We thank you for your help. We appreciate it, me and my lord. We owe you one after this.
Think nothing of it. Oh, think nothing of it. Eventually, there will be a time when House Primrose needs to call on favors too. By all means, I shall remember you and the kindness you have shown me. For many will bat deny at my heritage, but you have not, and your kindness shall be remembered, as hopefully you shall remember this. Between all houses.
Sir Gilbert nods and says, if you need anything, and if we survive the upcoming weeks and months, House Red Roost is a friend of yours, my good sir." Anyway, Sergeant Anders takes the gold. He pours out about half of it and just drops it onto the floor in front of you. And he says, "There's about 100 gold. That's half. We'll keep the rest until you return with Sir Gregory's body. I think that's more than fair." He puts the rest away, sort of under his armor.
I scoop down and take the 25 that
Okay.
are mine.
I'll take my share from the bag. I'm not scabbing around the floor for gold.
Gold is gold.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm thinking the same thing. I'm trying to play a noble, and it's like, oh, pick up this gold coins off the blah blah blah. Stable
like,
floor.
That is. The sergeant gives you a look and says, "Well, whatever," and he bends down and starts collecting gold and holds it up to you. Here, time is of the essence. I don't care.
Concur, sir. I shall be on my way immediately, and I shall just quickly take it and walk out back and start hooking the cart up to the mule.
Okay, yeah, you take one mule out, the one that looks strongest. There's 3 mules in here, and tied to a cart. It's a very small cart, just about big enough for maybe 2 people sitting inside of it. It's more like a hand-drawn cart, really, not like a proper carriage or anything. Just 2 wheels. And but it is big enough or small enough, depending on how I want to put it, for one single mule to pull it without any problems.
That is all I require. Thank you. Come on, y'all. What time of the day is it? Is it like it's night, right?
Is it about half? It's about half an hour to 45 minutes before nightfall now. So it's late afternoon, very late afternoon.
Well, the battlefield's about an hour away, so I don't think we'll make it there before the sun sets. But with any luck, the moon will still be risen and we shall be able to see. So let us not dawdle or tarry.
Sergeant Anders steps out of the stables as you talking. He just says, "We'll be here if you can return as quickly as possible. Hopefully, maybe within this very night. Be careful. Count Leopold's men might still be patrolling the area. I don't know.
I shall do.
Just be careful. You might have riders around. It would not do you good to get into a scuffle with them."
I do not intend. I have no quarrel with them.
Well,
With me, they shall find a worthy adversary.
I'm just saying maybe you want to do this more sneaky-wise, if you know what I mean. But that's up to you, obviously.
I'll turn to the human and look at him and say, I wonder how much the opposite force would offer us for the same body.
What did you say, elf? He grabs his short sword and pulls it out. He pulls the short sword out about half out of the sheath and just gives you this angry look. You took my master's gold, and now you're talking about betraying him? What kind of worthless creature are you?
I'm a sort of worthless creature that scrabbles around corpse-laden battlefields for money. That's the sort of worthless creature you need to do this job. So, you know.
He puts the short sword back. You're lucky that...
I can assure you not let them sell the corpse to anyone else. I have given you my word. It shall be done.
Thank you, good man, Gronk.
I'll point to some horse
Do
dung.
not make me angry. You won't like me when I'm angry. My orc blood rises. And I switch my profile picture to the Hulk.
Sergeant gives you one last look and a nod. Says, "Well, we'll expect you back in a few hours then," and turns and disappears back into the stables.
Come now, scavengers.
Okay.
I guess we could.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting.
Oh, yes.
So, you set out towards
No, it will not.
the Swallow Fields, the field of battle, and it will take you about an hour to get there. You leave in Ironbark behind the village. You travel across a small road that meanders its way through the fields surrounding Ironbark, and you travel west. The sun sets after about half an hour or so, and everything grows dark around you. So, you continue onwards towards the Swallow Fields, and walk for another good half an hour through the darkness. Would you wish to make light, or are you just following the road in the dark? There is just enough light piercing through the cloud cover above you. The moon is about half full, to give those of you who have low light vision / dark vision the chance to see maybe 30 or so feet ahead.
Well, as soon as I need light, I will actually light a torch.
Okay.
I light my hooded lantern.
Okay. The torch and the lantern blaze high, and you do get the feeling that this is fairly flat country all in all, so this light can probably be seen for quite a bit.
How does the light affect our eyes if they have light up torches?
Not much.
Okay.
I light in front of us on the.
Okay, so you're walking ahead of the cart, basically, with the hooded lantern just open a little bit at the front,
Yeah.
and like a modern torchlight, basically,
Yes.
just illuminating the road ahead.
Be leading the mule.
Okay.
Like instead of riding on the car or whatever, I'll be like, at the head of the mule with its reins or bridle or whatever's kind of on its face, just leading it.
Yeah. Okay. And what about Fenris and Derek?
I'm just at the back. I'm happy to wander along.
Okay. You sitting on the cart or are you walking?
I'll walk.
Okay.
I walk beside him.
Okay. And do you have your torch out?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, you have plenty of light. After about half an hour or so, you do come to a small hill, and you are aware that beyond that hill lies the battlefield. The hill is only a couple 100 yards across or so. So it will only take you a couple minutes to cross it if you so wish. The road itself moves off to the south. It doesn't actually go across the battlefield or anything. Whereas the battlefield itself is now to your right, which basically means sort of northwest-ish. Whereas the road bends and moves down south.
Well, I start to walk towards the battlefield.
Okay. So you're walking across the hill?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll lead the mule.
All
Can
right.
the mule make it easily over the hill? I
Yeah.
mean, we're not talking
Yeah.
like.
It is a little muddy, but the cart is not very heavy, and the mule is
Yeah.
well suited for cross-country adventures. So it is not a problem at all. You crest the top of the hill, and you now overlook the battlefield. It is dark mostly, but in this very moment, the clouds part a little bit, and the half-full moon shines down onto the grisly scene. You can see the battlefield itself. It is fairly large, a couple 100 yards, and you can see moonlight glinting on armor and discarded, broken weapons. You can see silhouettes of the fallen, some larger, some smaller, a few dead horses here and there, just strewn around. There is, from the looks of, so you're on the right side of the battlefield, on the right flank, so to speak, of the battlefield, and across from you is what looks to be a forest, and there is a small stream running from your right and basically cutting the battlefield in half into your half and let's call it the forested half. It's not really forested, but it's the half that's closer to the forest.
Mm-hmm.
And you stand there and look around for about 30 or so seconds, and then the clouds shift again and close up slowly, and the moonlight dissipates, and everything is covered in darkness again.
My
Let's
instincts
pause here
kick in.
for a moment.
Sorry?
Let's pause here for a moment to say a prayer for these poor souls who have found their death here.
Okay.
It is such a travesty of human waste.
I start walking.
Okay. You walk down.
Specifically, as I say pause, the fighter starts walking.
Do you still have your lights out?
I do.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't see when we saw the battlefield. I didn't see anyone moving around.
It was hard to say.
Okay.
It was still about 200 yards or so away from the battlefield, and the darkness wasn't like completely dispelled. You could just see shapes. You weren't sure. There might have been a couple.
If I sorry to ask, if I vanquish the light, the torch, would I be able to see in front of me? And
Yeah, you would be able to see, but not far. You would be able to see silhouettes within about maybe, I don't know, 5 meters or so.
Okay, but if I am in front of me, I can still, see what they have on them or stuff. If I want to scavenge, then I would actually put out the torch and start walking.
You throw the torch to the
No
ground,
fires in the back?
dump it out.
Like they had torches or just flaming pitch or anything. Still no little fires throughout the battlefield.
No fires on the battlefield. No light at all. In fact. Okay.
No scavengers.
You didn't see any at first glance, but that doesn't mean much. Those people are usually stealthy. Are you still using your lantern, Artman?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a beam of light going forward, whereas the rest
That's what I'll use to navigate by. I'll follow along behind him, leading the mule in whatever direction. Like he's leading and I'm following him.
Okay. You move downwards, and as soon as you reach the battlefield itself, you can smell the stench. Not rot, for these men have not been lying here long enough to actually start rotting. It is a mixture of blood, of sweat, of
shit.
Yes, of shit and piss. As
you do evacuate your bowels when you die.
Yes, you have. Many have lost control over their bowels as they were slain, and you can see shapes lying there, unmoving. The battlefield, however, is not quiet as you might have expected. It is not the silence of a grave. Maybe dead are silent once they have been buried underground, but at this very moment, it is not quiet. There is rustling sounds in the darkness around you. You can hear hissing and a few snarls here and there as some scavengers, maybe foxes, maybe larger things, fight for morsels. You can hear the crows. One blaze of light falls onto the corpse of a dead man lying on a dead horse, and you can see a crow sitting on his head, pecking at his eyes. The crow looks up as the light hits it, and its eyes blaze for a moment in the reflection of the light. Then it looks back down and rips out up a piece of the cheek of the dead man and swallows it down, ignoring you.
I actually walk towards that horseman.
Okay.
And see if there is anything interesting to loot, because horsemen mostly have golden pins and stuff.
No, he doesn't look rich. You do find a short sword that looks fairly nice, and looking through him, you do find a money pouch with a bit of silver in it.
I'll take that.
Okay. You just bend over, look around, and take the money pouch.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you're closer to the battlefield, you can see that there's dozens and dozens of fallen. This was not a massive battle of thousands and thousands of men, but probably a couple hundred to each side at least. And you realize very soon that some of them don't seem to be quite dead yet. You can hear voices in the darkness. Some just wordless crying. Some mumbling, "Dear gods, please, dear gods, please, please, dear gods, please."
I'll take out my battle axe.
Calling for their mother in the darkness. Quietly. Some just whimpering.
Seems like still work to do. And I carry on
As
moving.
we're going through here, Adamalt, could you possibly use on some of these poor souls? Pretty much spare the dying. Stabilizing them.
I'm afraid that wouldn't work on most of them. They are beyond saving with such a simple cantrip.
I wish I'd paid more attention to medicine in herbalist class, so I could ease these poor fools' suffering.
If I see anyone that's alive, I check if he could actually walk by himself, and if not, I just kill him.
Okay, so you start
giving him
around.
the mercy. Yeah.
So you're just standing there at the moment. You have just stepped back from that horseman, and you're looking around. And you are hearing now the voices of well, the soon-to-be dead, let's call them that,
Mm-hmm.
damned, and you realize this is a terrible way to die. They must have been lying here for hours. Some of them may be unconscious most of the time, recently woken up. Some of them in pain for hours and hours as they slowly drift away into the other, well, whatever is beyond death. You can smell their pain in the air. It's nearly like a haze that covers the battlefield. What do you do? The mule itself seems very nervous. Its nostrils are twitching. Its ears are flat against its skull. Its eyes are rolling around, looking in all directions at once.
Well, it's not the first battlefield I scavenge, so I take out my battle axe and start looking for shiny things.
Okay.
This is not the time for it.
I shall calm the
I
mule,
ignore him.
Okay.
or at least try to calm the
So
mule.
you step away into the darkness, away from the group.
Who are you talking to right now?
You.
Me? Yeah. Not too much, but yeah, just wandering around from
Okay.
buddy to buddy.
Well, the body. It's not like the bodies are super packed in like large heaps. The bodies are strewn out across several hundred yards. So it's not like there's a body every single meter or something like that. Don't imagine
Okay.
it's like a banquet of just dead everywhere.
Okay,
There
okay.
are dozens and dozens of dead, but they are strewn out. The battlefield was more by the looks of it, more a collection of small skirmishes, not like
I
two
see.
lines. that just
Okay, well, then I start to move towards the first dead body and then... you
Well,
know,
I'm guessing we're
walk
going to
around.
have to look for this guy anyway. So without knowing exactly where he is, we're going to have to go to each body to check it to see if it is the guy we're looking for. So as we go check each person, then nothing stopping you from, filling your pocket.
taking a bit of
Okay.
time.
No, but
Yes.
there's do you, first Gronk said he wants to calm the mule. Give me an animal handling check as you step up to the mule, stroke its nostrils, and whisper it to it, trying to calm it down a little bit.
Okay.
There is animal. Oh, is there animal handling in D&D, or am I making this up?
No, there is
Yo,
animal
it's-
handling. Yes, there is.
Okay. Good.
There is. I am proficient, and that is my roll.
Okay, 15. Yes.
Fire, still.
Actually, pretty good. You managed to calm the mule down fairly decently. It's not very calm, obviously. It's still a little nervous, but you've calmed it down after about half a minute or so of whispering and stroking its head, telling it what a good mule it is, what a brave soul. The mule calms down indeed. So, while this is happening, what does the rest of you do?
I recite Kellenbor's last words and spread.
So you're just standing there and...
No, I look amongst the dying
Okay.
and compassion.
Okay. So you're...
And give them a compassionate death.
Okay, so what weapon are you using for it?
A small knife.
Okay, so you step out, speak a prayer, you take out the dagger, you move towards the first man. As you approach, you can see he's fairly young, maybe 17, 18, a blonde, dirty-faced peasant boy in shoddy leather armor that's torn open. There's a massive wound on his side. You can see his ribs, and there's a lot of blood everywhere. He's trembling. He's completely white, and his eyes go small in the light of your lantern as it shines on him. He's like, Mother, is that you? Please, Mother, it hurts so much. Please. You step up
Your pain is over.
and you bring down your knife and just in the side of his throat, up into his brain, the quickest way to kill a man.
Yes.
He stops moving. Okay, while this is happening, what are Fenris and Derek doing?
Well, as I said, I'm moving to the first body, dead or alive. I don't care.
Okay.
And scavenge. If he's alive, I just take my axe and
Okay, so you move up to a man who's lying there, dead. Shuffle through him, but he was just a poor spearman. Doesn't have anything to take. Move on to the next one. This one, at least, has a nice dagger that you could take with a little bit of silver engraving. It's worth a little bit of money.
Yeah, I'll take that.
At least. You take that. As you take it, he all of a sudden grabs your hand. It's like, what? And you can see his eyes are swollen shut. He can't see anything clearly. There's dried blood on his face, and his tongue is sort of lolling out half of his mouth. He's definitely dead. He just doesn't know it yet. But his grip is surprisingly strong as he grabs your arm as you go for his dagger.
I'll take my other arm, take one of my hand axes, and just
you take
split his skull.
Down into, and blood spreads into your, it just goes up, gushes into your face a little bit. You wipe it off, spit out.
Always these messy jobs.
The arm just falls down, releases you. And what is Fenris doing?
I'm going to go along with the guy who's scavenging, basically because I want to see if we can find this gnome one. Really, and it's the only way we're going to do it. If we go. So if he's going to each one, I'll follow along. I'll watch him as he hacks down on this half-dead soldier's skull, and I'll say, well, I appreciate your efficiency. It's very good. You've done this stuff before. I'd like to see a master at work. It's good. But I think the quicker we can find this dead noble, the quicker we can take its corpse back to and get our money. Basically, I'm not a big fan of battlefields.
Some have nice things, and I just hold up the dagger with the silver engravings, and then just put it in my belt.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate what you're saying, but it can ruin the boots, and the stench is something else, isn't it? Right?
That's why I don't have my shinies with me. I just carry on to the next body.
Mm-hmm. You move over, and as you approach the next body, something moves. And you take a closer look, and you see a shape removing itself from the body, and you see it's a rather large dog that's been gnawing on the body. And it's just as you approach him, and you can hear the sound of its teeth just eating and ripping into a piece of meat that it holds in his jaws.
Well, we're both scavengers, so I just leave him to his meal. There is enough for him, and I skip that body and go to the next.
Okay.
If I see any, if I come across any arrows that are still in one shape, or
there are quite a few arrows.
Yeah, I'll just take them and stick them in my own quarrel, just so
Sure, you can easily find about half a dozen or so arrows looking around a little bit, especially with your dark vision.
Yeah,
that makes the job obviously much easier. Okay, so Derek and Fenris have moved away a little bit, about maybe 60 feet or so away from the other two, while Gronk has finished calming the mule, and Artman has finished off the boy and another man close to him.
Roddy Alt plays with his ass.
Follow up on the side.
Okay.
Yeah, this.
So what is Gronk doing after he finishes calming the mule?
I'll calm the mule and be like, Sir Adamall, since you have the best light to this, I wish to follow you as you search each body, and I trust Kellenvold to make the decision whether these poor souls should be released from their agony or saved from it. I shall accompany you and make sure everything is fine and assist with anything you need. And also, everyone, be careful, for I have heard legends and tales. Vile necromancy spring forth from such fields. Always beware.
Yes, that's it. That is why I'm here.
As you're speaking, turning around, the light of your lantern shining across, basically like a beam across the battlefield, just moving left, right. like the lights of car for a moment, you guys can all give me perception checks. Those of you who have dark vision, you have advantage on this one.
Okay.
15.
Okay.
I'm not.
14.
No, das wird der falsche.
Oh, yeah, that's persuasion. That's right. That's not perception. 2. Oh, wow. Okay, so we have...
No, sorry, no, ignore that. That was me just typing it wrong.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But equal 3 rather than this.
Yeah.
Again.
Okay, 12. So which means we have a 17. And, okay, so both Gronk and Derek, you as the quick light of the lantern just shines through with a beam across the battlefield. You both spot a small shape all of a sudden jumping up, freezing for a moment, a very split second as the light just hits it, a humanoid shape, and then turning around, darting off into the darkness.
I just chuckle. We're not alone.
Over there,
Told
D,
you guys. We were
perchance that's a small bile.
It looked humanoid, maybe a child or some non-human creature.
Is anybody sharing this?
Gronk will point out over in that direction. Over there, a small child, maybe a goblin, I'm not sure.
Another scavenger.
Might be. Told you guys, you chatted too much. We lost time. Could have been the firsts, but no. And I just carry on walking.
Okay. You continue searching for a little bit, look up over a couple more bodies, and then you come to a body that was once very rich, wrapped and dressed in fairly rich clothing. He's wearing chainmail that is completely shattered by what looks to be like an axe blow or several axe blows, and is draped in a very finely made silk cloak that is half torn apart. As you take a close look at the body, however, you especially, Derek, you realize this body has already been scavenged. Someone took his boot, someone took his belt, and someone cut off his fingers.
Yeah, good rings. God damn it! Shouldn't have waited for these idiots! I look around if I see any who were, guarding him, who might still have something on them.
You
His
do
personal
spot a
guards.
few bodies close by, a few fairly fancy-looking horses as well, but it looks like this part of the battlefield has already been fairly thoroughly scavenged, and judging by the looks of it, not too long ago.
Is this the area where the small boy?
I hate competition.
No, the figure was on the left side. This is you move off to the right.
I hurry up, skip a few buddies, and then see if the next ones are touched or not.
As you're looking, you can all of a sudden hear something that you haven't expected to hear at all. In fact, you hear laughter, like ha ha ha, yeah, and a voice coming from the darkness. And
I look around.
Voice joining in. Male-sounding voices coming from somewhere to your right, further up into the darkness, towards the end of the battlefield.
Show yourselves!
Where the stream is.
Well, I did say that there could be soldiers from the opposite force coming onto the battlefield, so this could be those, I guess.
So Gronk immediately shouts out into the darkness.
Show yourselves!
The laughter stops.
Amateur.
And then you can see a lantern flare into life in the dark, about maybe 60, 70 feet away from you. And you can see the lantern illuminating 3 figures. 2 two of them sort of hunch over on the ground, looking your way, like kneeling half on the ground. One of them with a crossbow, already pointed at you. The guy holding the lantern is holding like a hand axe. They're all dressed in like leather and studded leather, pretty much like pieces of armor. The guy with the axe is wearing a helmet that is clearly not part of his own armor. Looks way too fancy for him. The guy with the crossbow, you can see like a silver necklace around his neck that doesn't really seem to be fitting with his outfit either. And the third guy, who you think might be the leader because he's a decent size taller than the others, is wrapped in a bit dirty-looking chainmail, and has a great sword in his hand.
How far?
They're about 60, 70 feet away from you. The guy with the lantern shines the light towards you. They can't clearly see you that well, but they can see that there's someone there, and he's like, "Who's there?" The guy with the axe and the lantern shouts across to you.
Moving closer, but I will hold my hand up and be leading the thing over there and be like, "Hell, well met.
You're taking
I am
them with you?
Galros. Sure, why not? I'm
Okay.
Galros. I have been sent upon this battlefield to find a cloak with a on it. Have you seen him?"
He really didn't do this.
The guy with
Oh my god.
the guy with the crossbow and the man with the lantern look over to the other guy, the big one with the chainmail, who steps forward a little bit and says, "What's it to you? We were here first. I'm Aldrich, and this
I
is
do
my
not
field."
wish. I do not wish to bother with any of your looting. By all means, you may scavenge what you wish. I'm only concerned about the remains.
We're not body snatchers, if you're talking about that. I couldn't give a shit about all these fancy nobles and their stupid ass soldiers.
I meant not to insinuate that you were body snatchers, and trust me, I assure you that my heart breaks for the lowliest servant who died on this field, as well as the highest noble. For all lives
Your
are
own
sacred
fucking
in my
fault.
mind.
I look at the elf and he's getting his head off in a minute if he carries on talking like that.
So what's the rest of you doing while this conversation is happening?
How far away am I right now from the half-orc?
He's moved in, I'd say, until he's about 30 feet away from the group of the others. So you're about 30 feet behind him.
Because I walked off, to go to the
Yeah, both me and him, we both walked off, didn't we?
We
Yeah,
walked
but
off.
they followed you afterwards.
Oh, okay. So the three individuals saw us as well, I guess.
It's hard to say.
Focused on me, though.
In your direction, but
Yeah, well,
But
I just
probably,
slowly turn and make a round,
sneaking?
I don't give it that much of a try with my chainmail, but still.
Okay, give me a stealth check with disadvantage.
Oh, this looks good. A 19.
They are focused
And
on
a
me,
2.
if that would help any.
So that will be 4.
Okay, no. They see you coming, and the guy with the crossbow looks over to you and like starts trailing you with the crossbow. And what are Fenris and Artmond doing?
Well, I'm just gonna. I'm guessing. Well, I'm just basically leaning up against the cart and just watch, see what happens. As far as I'm concerned, these are not our objective. And if York gets himself killed, that's an extra 50 gold pieces. That's
Okay. So you're just.
I am
you-
going to get myself killed.
So you have followed Gronk, but you're not. You're like just leaning against the cart.
Yeah, well, I'm where the other guy was. So if he wants to go sneaking somewhere, then that's up to him. But I'm not, just
Okay,
watch.
so you're just hanging out in the background. Okay.
Yeah.
And Artmond, what are you doing?
Step next up to Kronk.
Okay. And they see the symbol on your shield. They look at each other, and the guy with the lantern hisses over to the leader. He says, "Aldrich, he's a fucking priest." The guy with the greatsword steps up, takes a look, and says, "You coming for us, holy man?"
I come for the dead.
Well, we're not amongst them, are we? So bugger off. Go fuck a chore boy or something.
There's no cause for such language. He has been giving you no offense. There's no reason for you to give him offense. I simply asked the question, have you seen a man in a white robe with a red rooster upon it?
Maybe.
You're despoiling in this battlefield. You may do such and continue such as you will. Favor, you will answer my questions.
Are you
I
trying?
stop walking when I'm 30 feet near them.
I'll
Okay.
keep walking up. As long as he's letting me, I'll stand right there in his face.
Okay. You step in, and he tenses a little bit, but then looks at the other two, and then steps up to meet you until you're only like 3 or 4 feet away from each other, like staring at each other. You're both fairly large, fairly muscular guys, and up close, you see the sword that he's holding is a very finely made one with a green stone in its hilt. Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like,
Hail.
I don't care about your tone, half-orc. I don't know where you've been born, but around these parts, fucking savages like you know their place. You're
I will
not come
attempt
here and just...
to check.
Okay, so what are you doing?
Up firmly and be like, I have had enough of your ill-conceived ideas. You do not show me any disrespect. That sword is an emblem of a family of much more noble blood than yours, and unless you want your blood joining this of the others that are lying around here, you will give it up to me and leave this field at once with what you have already taken.
Okay, give me an intimidation check. And at the same time, Derek, give me a perception check.
8.
Ooh, 23, not bad. Sadly, you have disadvantage on the check.
I do.
Yes, you
I'll
do.
give you another one then real quick.
You are alone. No one's backing you up at the moment. 20, still pretty impressive. The guy actually goes pale a little bit and takes a step back and says, I meant no offense. Sorry about that. I just, sometimes my mouth can't quite control it. I haven't seen the guy.
The sword?
That one. I found that over there somewhere. He points off to the left. What was your perception check?
5.
Oh, okay. He looks at his sword. That's my sword. You can take whatever you want, but I keep that sword.
No, we need that sword.
I found it. It's mine by right. He takes a few more steps back from you.
10 gold.
I just mutter under my breath, well,
Stone itself is worth at least 30 or 40. And I...
For me leaving you alive.
Well, he takes a few more steps back until he's standing like with his two friends and seems to draw a little bit of bravery from their presence. And he's like, there's two of you. And
I walk
Yes, but
up
have you
from
seen
the other
me?
side as well. Just look at him.
you join in with the other two?
Yeah, not directly with them, on the side, and line up with the other 3 and looking towards them.
Okay. Well, he says,
Hello.
now there's 3 of you. He whistles, and you can see from the darkness, to your left and to your right, appear 2 more shapes. One on your left, a woman clutching a short sword and a buckler, and just giving you this nasty grin. And on the right side, a man appears with a spear in his hand. He looks a little wounded. You can see his one of his arms is bandaged. There's a little bit of blood in the bandage, but he still looks ready to do battle. As you're now flanked like from both sides. Well, as I
You're
said,
scavengers.
you and 5 of us. So get the fuck off. We don't want any trouble, but I'm keeping the sword. That's worth more than your lives.
With more than yours. You wish to mix blades with Galro, son of Gronk, Primrose? And I'll draw my sword and hold my shield up to explain the holy symbol. Well, but the heraldic symbol on it.
I don't know who you are, Half-Orc. And I don't really give a shit. We don't want trouble if not necessary, but you can't walk in here, push us around, take away what we worked hard for.
It does not belong to you. I'm offering to give you payment for the scavenger finding of it, except that thou will be forced to take it.
How much?
10 gold.
What? Puh! Spits down to the ground, like in front of his feet. 10 gold. Bugger off.
I literally growl. But I'm like...
He says, you looked sort of points with his chin at there. Seemed like a reasonable man. Sure you don't want to die with the holy man and the half-orc.
I'm here to do what you're doing as well. There are riches here, not really much, and if there is a buddy near me, I just kick it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I just kick it. It seems like you looted most of these parts. Where didn't you go?
Well,
I need something in my belly as well, you know.
That's alright with us. You can have all the part behind the stream. We haven't been there yet.
I want to insight check him for that.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe him.
Definitely. Seems a nice fella. Honest type.
Well, and scavengers, if they are, you know, talking with each other, we're always nice people to each other. Always.
Yes, of course.
I put the lantern down and draw my sword. See where that is going.
Okay. The guy with the crossbow is now pointing the crossbow at you. And he's like, careful, holy man. Don't want to poke a hole in your nice little armor.
Is he younger than me, the one in the middle, or is he older than me?
How old are you?
My character would be 35.
Okay, no, he's younger then. They're all sort of in their mid sort of 20s or so. Except for the one guy, the one actually holding the lantern, the axe, he seems about your age maybe. The rest is sort of 25-ish.
Okay. Well, listen to me, lad. I don't know how long you are doing this, but I'm doing this for fucking 20 years. We've got a job. We have to retrieve that stupid body and that sword on your back. So either you give it to us and accept those 10 gold he's offering you, or we will see who will stand after a skirmish. You have nice things on you already looted. Do you really want to lose them?
That sword's probably worth more than everything else that we found together.
Yes, but it is worth your life.
Why?
And I just take up my battle axe.
There's 5 of us and only 3 of you.
Have you not seen me? I will reach out and I will grab it. I'll make an opposed grab.
No, he stepped back to his man. He's about 10 feet away from you at the moment, or 15 feet away. You walk up?
10, 50.
Okay, as soon as
he's
you
either going to do
walk
something or I'm going to take
the
it.
guy with the crossbow sort of points at your face, and you can see he's tensing up. If you take another step closer, he'll shoot you in the face.
Oh, bugger. I take my hand axe and throw.
Okay. So, who are you throwing at?
At the crossbow guy.
Okay. So you just... actually, give me a dexterity check to see if you're quicker than him. Because
sure.
You're doing this in obviously plain sight, and they're all super tense. So it's not like you're surprising them or anything.
Really? We're super tense?
Well, these rolls, great.
What did you roll?
11.
Okay. Crossbow guy rolls a natural 2, so you're quicker, yes. So he swings the crossbow back towards you, but you've already flung the hand axe. Who are you throwing at against?
At the crossbow guy who's holding the crossbow.
Okay, roll attack.
Wow, I guess I'm going back to roll 20 this time. No, 9.
You miss. The axe ducks down. The axe flies over, and we are now in initiative. And we are starting with Fenris, who is still about 60 feet away from the whole thing, in the darkness. They probably haven't noticed.
Fenris.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of I'm still watching, and I kind of think the scavengers have a point.
Yep. Okay. Reasonable.
The other scavenger owned group is also stealing things from the dead. So if it's right for him, then it's right for these guys, as far as I'm concerned. And so, at the moment, I'm going to see what happens.
Okay, so you're just standing there.
Yeah, I'm watching.
Layers of darkness. All right. Derek, you're up next.
I wanted to walk 30 feet to them, so I should be able to walk up with my movement.
Yes, you're only about 20 feet away from them. At the
Yeah,
moment.
good. Then I walk up and try
Actually,
to...
the guy with the spear is only about 10 feet to your left, who flanked you.
No, I still go for the crossbow guy.
Okay, what weapon are you? Drawing a weapon or anything?
Battle axe.
Okay.
I had the battle axe already, and yeah.
So you throw a hand axe, and
Yes.
then you grab your battle axe. A battle axe
Yes.
is two-handed, right?
No, versatile. So I have it in
Okay.
one hand and my shield in the other.
All right, okay. So you throw the hand axe, whip out the battle axe, and run at the crossbow guy, swinging the axe down. Okay, sure. Give him an attack.
That one's better. 17.
Yeah, that's a hit. He tries to parry the crossbow, but you duck and smash it into his ribs.
And that's 9 damage.
Okay. Ugh! He stumbles backwards with a deep wound. You can hear his ribs breaking. He's barely standing after this mighty blow. Garos, you're up.
Garos will lose his temper, as these people are, in his opinion, quite unreasonable. He will fly into a rage.
Okay.
His
You're just-
temper. And disclose the remaining feet. And draw my sword, since I didn't have it drawn anyway. I had my shield. But draw my sword and beat the
What
guy
kind of
who
sword
has
do
the
you have?
great sword.
Longsword?
Sword?
Okay, so you whip out your longsword from your hip, scream out your fury.
Recklessly attack
Who are you attacking?
the guy with the great sword.
The leader, all right. The guy
the
with
leader.
chainmail. Yeah, okay, you run up and swing your sword down. Roll an attack.
Oh, I'm hitting the shift button. That's why it's not
And you
doing
have advantage, so you can roll twice, because you're attacking recklessly without any regard of for your own defense.
it. And a
Does
17.
hit. Does hit. He brings up the greatsword to parry, but you just use your shield to bash it into his greatsword, and as he stumbles backwards, you stab, and the blade sinks into his lower arm muscle. Roll damage.
I'll use my home dice for damage because I don't
All
have
right.
to switch my D20 to a D8.
Yep, that sounds fine. That sounds fine. Yeah, a decent wound with blood coming out, but it's not deadly by any means. Ah, you bastard! That was Garth's turn. Now the scavengers. The crossbow guy is in melee range, but still trying to shoot his crossbow at Derek, who's smashed into him with a mighty attack. That will be a 10. So the crossbow and hits the shield. The bolt just stuck in the shield. And he drops the crossbow and whips out a short sword. The woman that came up runs in, going for Artmund, swinging her sword, sort of scimitar-like blade, towards the priest's face. And that will be a 21, in fact. You were focused on the battle in front of you, nearly forgot about the woman. Turn your head, and her scimitar hits you in the helmet, full force. That will be 8 points of damage, in fact. It's a mighty blow cracking into your head. The guy with the axe and the lantern will rush up to help his leader, and smash down onto Gauros with advantage because you have attacked recklessly.
Correct.
And he still manages to miss. You parry his axe with your longsword without even looking at him. He just snarls. Ah, shit. The wounded guy, the guy with the spear, will attack Derek from behind. You can hear him coming. You glance back real quick, and you can see him clutching his spear with both hands and just running, and trying to stab you in the back, basically. And that will be a 19, so he does stab you in the back.
Yes.
You're not quick enough to turn, feel a sharp pain in your back as you take 6 points of piercing damage.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, Aldrich, the leader, swings the greatsword down. Ah, you fucker! And swings it down against Gauros, obviously, with advantage as well. And that will be a 17, which is a hit, as the greatsword sinks into your own arm, slashing down with a very dangerous blow. That will be 14 points of slashing damage. You're raged, however, so you take 7.
Yeah.
But still, that was a mighty cut into your arm. Blood is running down now, dripping from your elbow and dripping to the ground. Ah, got you! Good sword! And that was their turn. Artmund, it is now your turn.
The woman attacked me.
Yes.
Then we'll attack her.
Okay, you swing back. You also have a longsword, right?
Yes, and
Okay.
I have already drawn it.
Yeah, you did, yeah. The lance is on the ground. You swing your longsword towards her. 20, yeah, that's a mighty hit. 11 points of damage. Wow. With a single blow, you shake the pain off of the scimitar that hits you in the head, slice back, and with a single blow, cut through her neck. As she wasn't fast enough, and she just drops to her knees, tries to stem the blood, but obviously a little chance of that, and just falls to the side, and is instantly dead.
Then I will catch up with Grung.
Okay, you step up to him, and the guy with the lantern and the axe says, "You fucker, you killed Gertrude!" And turns towards you as you step in. That was Artmund's turn. We are up to Fenris again.
You didn't take the offer.
Okay, so this battle is now going on. I'm going to reach in and take out my rations and my flask. And
I really like this guy.
if I had popcorn, I don't have any popcorn, but I would take it out my rations.
Yeah, Constitution saving throw.
You me?
Yeah.
So I bring in rations.
Yeah. You'll see why. As you're grabbing your rations and you're like biting into one, your gaze falls onto a body that's only about 10 feet away from you with a split open skull, the body of a young man, and you're like ground. This is not the best area to eat, let's put it that way.
All right, I'll just drink.
And you just you spit out the water and just rinse out your mouth after this.
Okay.
That was your turn. Derek, your turn.
Yeah, I try to get rid of the guy in front of me first.
The crossbow guy. Yeah, he's already.
That will be a 20 to hit.
Yeah. Oh yes.
And these will
raises
be
his short
5
sword.
damage.
Step in and push his arm out of the way. Bring your battle axe down and just cleave his skull in from the front, straight in between the eyes.
And then I want to hit the action surge.
Without the sound.
Want to hit the action surge, turn around, and slash at the other one.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, he's like, oh shit, oh shit, and brings up the spear to parry.
That's a natural 19, so that would be a crit.
Yeah, he brings up the spear to
For
parry, but you cut through the spear.
That's
Oh yeah, yes, you're a champion. So 19 is a crit. Yeah.
Yes. These 9 damage.
Oh, with a crit.
Yes.
Okay, that is
Rolled a 1 and a 4.
still enough to finish him off. This guy was already wounded. So you slash through the spear, break through the spear, and into the side of his shoulder, and basically through his collarbone into his chest. And as he falls, you just put one foot onto him and kick the body off and rip your axe out.
Can I use my bonus action to use this, to make a sentence? To say something?
Sure, that's
Yeah.
a free action.
Now it's 2 versus 3. You want to carry on?
They, I'm afraid, are not really hear you at the moment. They're busy fighting and screaming.
Okay.
That was Derek. Garos, you're up.
Right. I will continue pummeling the leader with my
Sure.
long sword and let him know that you surrender the sword. And that would be
Is
a
that
21.
with a reckless attack?
Yes.
Okay, again, you just cut through his fancy chainmail that he probably, that's fairly new for him. And it doesn't seem to be helping him much, that chainmail.
For 11 points of slashing damage.
Okay, he stumbles backwards, really heavily injured as you nearly cut open his stomach. There's a ton of blood now coming out, and he's like, oh, brings one hand down to hold basically his stomach closed. Stumbles back, nearly falling.
And just continue growling. Just
Okay. The leader will turn and start to run away using basically the disengage action and then moving backwards, hobbling. Take the fucking sword, and he drops the sword and just starts hobbling away, still holding his
Nice choice.
with one hand. The other one, the axe-wielding guy, takes a look at his leader, but then takes another look at Artmund, and you can see rage in his gaze. He must have liked that woman, and he swings with both the lantern, in fact, and the axe at you, just both arms. The axe bites into your shoulder, dealing 3 points of damage. And the lantern just smashes against your shield. All the hot oil runs down your shield. Nothing touches your skin. The lantern goes out. There's a little bit of light now. A small fire basically burning onto your shield. But it's going to go out very soon. And it goes darker, obviously, around you. There's still one lantern on the ground. Still. So that's good enough to see. And that was their turn. Artmund, it is your turn now.
Are you going to leave now?
This guy doesn't seem to be willing to run. Not before he kills you, anyway.
Then I will hack him away.
Okay. Swinging your longsword, diagonal strike, but he parries it with his axe. Your god can't help you here, fucker! He says, as he parries your attack.
And I use my bonus action and try to push him down with my shield. I have Shield Master.
Oh, okay, nice. That would be an athletics check then.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a 19 in total. As he parries your attack, but you follow up with a shield slam into his chest, but he stands there.
No.
Too strong for you. That was that second turn. Fenris, you're up again.
Okay, right. Well, there's only one left, isn't there?
Well, one's running, and one is fighting, yeah. So 2 alive.
Okay. Well, they seem to be doing quite well on their own, so...
Yep, you could say that.
Yeah.
Okay. Derek, you're up.
The necklace. That was on one of the guys I slew, or was it on the leader who's running away?
No, the necklace was on the crossbow guy.
Okay.
Who you killed, sculling.
How far is the leader away?
30 feet.
30 feet. Can I take a bonus action to get the necklace and then walk up to the leader and
Sure.
just attack him as well?
Sure. You bend down. Actually, you don't have a hand free.
With the shield, like because I'm holding the shield. Was that?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you can do that.
If it doesn't work for you, it's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, you can do that. So you stretch out your hand with your shield hand with like 2 fingers, take the necklace and rip it off the guy's neck, basically. Just let it like make it disappear into one of your pouches or something on your chest or and then run up to the leader and yeah, you can reach him. He hasn't hobbled too far away.
Natural 18, so that would be 23.
He turns half and you just smash into his back with the axe.
6 damage.
And cut his... Yeah, how do you want to kill him?
Simply in his back.
Okay, you just sever his spine, basically. You can hear the spine breaking under the mighty blow. And he just... And then falls. No, his legs are slightly twitching. Other than that, he's not moving anymore.
Told you to take the offer.
Okay, Gauros.
Swords lying at my feet. There's guys standing there attacking my friend, and turn over to the guy. Adam Mark stood up and came to help me out. Reckless, just for the.
All right.
Why not?
Sure.
Right?
Sure. Certainly.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm glad I reckless.
Yep, that's definitely... 8 is definitely a miss. A 24 is much better. Yeah. There's no way that is missing. Roll damage.
Minimal 6 points of damage.
Okay, yeah. You stab him in the side with your longsword. It's not a massive wound, but it's still quite hurtful. Now sees himself basically flanked from both sides. And we have actually him. Now let's see. Wow, this guy is brave as fuck. He's just like and then slashes out against Artmund one more time with his axe without running. And he does strike through your armor and again. That will be 7 points of slashing damage against Artmund. You're still standing?
Take it.
Yes.
Okay, you take the hit into the straight into the face. Your helmet starts cracking open a little bit. Blood runs down into your eyes. You take a step back, pain in your head, but you're still standing. You'll die first, priest.
No.
Artmund,
That
it's
is
your
not
turn
an
now.
option.
You have advantage in the attack. Go ahead.
Yes.
He's flanked, so you're harassing him from both sides. 18, yes, and 11 points of damage. Yeah, you step in as he's saying that, and pierce his chest. He doubles over, and you rip out your sword, and he falls.
That hurts, you know.
No longer moving. Silence descends upon the battlefield once again.
I start looting the loot leader.
Okay. Yeah, you do find, looking around, you do find a few pretty nice rings in his pockets. You find another necklace, also in one of his pockets. And you find what looks to be a short sword, basically, wrapped in leather. Mm-hmm. And you can see the short sword's heft is made of gold, made of pure gold. This is easily worth 30, 40 gold.
Okay.
Nice little find, definitely. Okay.
Nice.
What's the rest of you doing?
I sheath my sword and pick up my lantern.
Okay.
Gauros will be breathing heavily, like,
Down. They are gone.
and I'll sheathe my sword and I'll reach down and pick up the great sword that the leader had dropped. And hold it up and inspect it to make sure that it is exactly what I thought it was. The cockatrice handle with the green.
definitely that sword. Yeah, it's basically a bastard sword, and a 1.5-handed sword. And it is quite nice. You swing it through the air, and you feel it's very well balanced. There's a very sharp, keen edge to it.
Animal, say a prayer to Kellenbor for these poor souls who died after this. It's meaningless trinkets to them, but mean something to so much more. And thank him for allowing us to find this.
I will, but they choose their fate.
It was their own fault. They should have taken the gold.
Yes, they should have taken the offer.
I'll reach around and kind of scavenge around for like some sort of scabbard or something to put it in, so I can sling it on my back also, along with keeping my regular sword.
Has a very fancy scabbard on his back, made of a dark, very fine, smooth leather. Where he had this.
So Derek, I believe this is your scavenge here from this man who fell trying to defend the sword. But if I may I request that I were to put the sword in that we were sent to find?
I look at it. Oh, well, found good other stuff as well, and I just throw it towards you, and then walk past you to the cart.
Okay.
Thank you. Your kindness and graciousness is duly noted.
Okay, and Fenris is approaching, or you stay back where you are.
Well, I'm by the cart anyway, so
Yeah, I'm going to the cart.
As
I'll
they
talk to him right
cart, I'll edge the mule back on again and sort of. Well, now you've got that out of your system. Can we get on with what we're supposed to be doing and find this body?
Fenris, you look a little bit pale around the nose. What happened?
Yeah, this place is not doing me very well for my supper. So the quicker we get back to the tavern, the quicker I can eat.
Oh, I understand.
So let's carry on working. After now I have those rings and necklace, I'm agitated. There could be more, so I'm eager to go and find more stuff.
Okay,
We have
so
where the body of this place bloke is now. I mean, did he state where he found a sword? Because presumably the body would be quite nearby. So, or did we just kill him before we got that information out of him?
actually, he did point off to the left when he said that's where he found the sword.
Okay, so that's where we're heading.
Towards the forest, sort of, closer to the edge of the forest.
Say he had not made it to the other side of the stream. Now, whether that is accurate or not still remains to be seen. He did not seem to be a man of honor.
He did say where he found the sword.
I don't know. From my impression, I think he was very much a man of honor. He was very much the way of, I found my bit, you go find your bit, and, we'll get on with it. So that sounds quite honourable to me. But,
Fair enough.
But yeah, anyway, let's. If it's not on the other side of the river, then we just need to go over to the left and see if we can find whoever's over there.
Okay.
It's a good place to start as any.
Okay, so you move over with the cart, and you approach the edges of the forest. You can see there's been some rough fighting here. There's about 20 or so bodies strewn around, and some of them a bit close to the forest, some of them a bit further away. It looks like there was a hefty skirmish here. Most of the dead look fairly poor. And weirdly enough, they're all dead. I mean, weirdly, I don't know, but none of them still is alive.
Before that, I do cure wounds on myself.
All right, sure. What, just first level?
Yes.
Okay.
I can only first level.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so 1d8 plus whatever your wisdom modifier is.
2.
Okay, so 1d8 plus 2. Healed for our paladin. Don't forget, you also have the lay on hands.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
To make a short rest, we would actually stand still and not just walk around, right?
Yeah, the short rest has to be resting, sitting or lying down.
Oh, well. While we're walking, if I see any interesting body, I will search it as well, of course.
You do in fact spot a few richer dressed bodies, but they seem to have already been scavenged. So you get the feeling that those rings and the necklace and stuff that you found actually came from those bodies. Also, you can give me that will be probably a perception or survival, I guess. Choose whichever one you prefer.
9.
Okay. Yep, that seems to be all. You do not see any corpse that resembles the one that you might be looking for, like a red-cloaked, heavily plated individual with a winged helmet or something like that.
Okay.
But now you are standing amongst the bodies, rummaging around a little bit.
Yes.
It is possible that some looter has taken the helm or the cloak or has been ripped or torn. It'll be difficult to ascertain this body.
Yeah,
But at
still
least
have
we
the
have the
armor.
family sword.
I mean, I imagine there's not many knights wearing plate mail on the field.
That is true. You only saw about 2 or 3 of them so far.
Is it about to rain?
No, this is the rustling of the wind in the forest that is close to you.
So if we continue looking for somebody in plate mail, the chances are that we're going to find the right person, aren't we? So
I guess we haven't have the time for a short rest.
No, a short rest would be an hour. I mean, you can take it, but that would mean sitting around for an hour.
Uh,
yeah, they might have just done quite quickly.
You all do not
Then-
feel well. I shall watch over you.
Use lay on hands on myself and expend 10 points.
Okay. Excellent. You will have regenerated another 10 hit points. Those priests are always touching themselves.
Yeah. Always that comment.
Okay. Well, it's called lay on hands. I mean, it's not my fault.
Let's just thank God somebody's not playing an altar boy.
Oh. Okay, I guess we're carrying on.
Yes, you do. You carry on. So, what you're looking for the body, basically, someone in plate mail. Is that the plan?
Well, I'm more looking for stuff to scavenge. If I find that body, fair enough.
Okay. So, all give me a perception check or survival, whatever you prefer. Or actually, no, perception would be the only one in this case. 18. Okay. Another 18.
Hey, with absolutely no modifier.
21. Wow. All of a sudden, your senses have sharpened. And another 18. Wow. Okay. So you all look around, and none of you sees. Actually, you do see one single person dressed in plate mail. But that one is wearing a dark green cloak. Not a red one, and his helmet is half caved in, but it looks much less fancy than the one you have been described. You do, however, looking around, you do spot a few weird markings on the ground that look like... Basically, they look like someone dragged bodies or something heavy away. Several of them, about 2 or 3 at least.
In what direction?
Towards the forest.
Right.
I walk to the plated knight and search him.
Yeah, sure. You can do that. You find a gold pouch with about 15 gold on him.
Mm-hmm.
And also another nice ring. This one only made of silver, so not worth more than probably a couple of gold at the most.
Still.
Yeah, this is rich pickings. You're surprised, actually.
Mhm.
I'm really happy with this day. I'm really happy with this day. If we just find that body, oh boy.
And did speak truth in that he found the body over here. Perhaps something else has drug it away. What vileness would have to do with body snatching? The secret will be found in those woods.
If I learn something in those 20 years, you actually don't want to know it. You'll be happy with what you find and leave.
But I have not found what I came for.
So we take a look at the forest.
Damn crows.
Oh well.
So, are you walking into the forest, or are you discussing things further?
Yes.
Is anyone good at tracking? Can follow this trail of drag marks?
Well, I was just looking, but there's no
How about
tracking skill,
you,
is there?
Al?
There is no tracking skill, is there?
Elves?
It's a survival. It's survival.
Survival?
Oh, right, okay. In that case, no.
I mean, you can still roll. You don't have to be proficient with it.
Oh, okay.
Sure,
well,
no.
I'm
Yeah,
not
well, no,
that bad as well.
half elf, actually, but yeah, okay, we'll give it a roll.
Okay, so up
Yeah,
to
I
two
can roll
of
as
you
well.
can roll. Okay,
Yeah.
so yep, fine. By 15, not bad. Do you have a
17.
wisdom modifier? No? Okay. 17. Okay, yeah. Amongst the two of you, you take a look, and the trail is not too difficult to follow. It looks to be three heavy objects, maybe three bodies, that have been dragged into the wood. Whoever dragged them, or whatever dragged them, clearly didn't try to cover its tracks or anything like that. And following the trail into the woods, it's not a very large forest, but there is a couple hundred trees, definitely.
Was it just one thing dragging the bodies, or was it a few things dragging it?
You're not sure. There is tracks, but you're not good enough trackers to actually make out any details. It looks like footprints, basically, from what you can tell. It doesn't look like animal tracks, but beyond that, it's hard to tell. It could be like one individual that came back and dragged like three bodies, one after the other, or three or more individuals dragging the bodies. But you can't really be too sure. In fact, Derek, you would say it's more likely to be several draggers, but you're not sure. None of you is really a very experienced tracker or anything like that. Okay, so you follow the footprints and the tracks into the forest for about maybe 100 or so feet. Then you come to find one body. The body is torn apart. Best way to describe it. It once was wrapped in some sort of chainmail, but the chainmail was basically torn off, and it looks like a beast or several beasts have been eating the body. Large chunks of meat are missing.
What
The skull is
foul
cracked.
creature could have done this?
The eyes are gone. The lips are torn away.
I look at the body. Does it resemble any marks where I can say these are, animals or creatures that come to such places, to scavenge meat?
Could be. Could be a wolf or a warg or something. You have heard that wargs, for instance, which are basically large, pretty nasty, fairly clever wolf-like creatures, do sometimes gather on battlefields. Could just be like foxes, but foxes wouldn't be strong enough to obviously drag a body away.
Yeah.
A warg would definitely be strong enough. Could be some other more nefarious creature. You've heard a lot of different superstitions and legends regarding...
But warg would be the first thing that would come to mind, I guess.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. Might have been a warg.
It's definitely not crow
Maybe.
work.
Yeah. Really?
So we keep going.
Yeah, there's still two tracks continuing on.
Yeah, keep following.
But notice we did not see any warg footprints. Perhaps these are werewolves.
Let's keep moving.
Okay, so you continue following Derek and Fenris a little up ahead. And then behind him, I guess, would be Artman with his lantern shining down the light onto the tracks. And then behind him, last in line, having the great sword on his back and clutching his weapon, his longsword, is Gauros. You follow the tracks.
Question: you said it was a bastard sword, like a hand and a half, or could I use it one-handed?
You could, yeah.
Alright, I may do that just simply to avenge the death of this man with his own sword.
Okay, so
or the defilement of his body with his own sword.
Rule-wise, this is a +1 longsword, basically.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You can use it if you wish, yes. Yeah, you can.
I'll do that.
You can use a 1.5-hander. You can use it either one or two-handed. That's why it's called 1.5-hand sword.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the 1E bastard sword. Loved it.
Yeah.
The quality of the longsword in 5e is why they dropped the bastard sword.
Yeah, exactly. So rule-wise, it is a longsword with a +1 longsword, but it would be slightly larger than the average longsword, with a thicker blade, basically. But for you, it seems very fitting. It lies quite well in your hand. Anyway, so you put your own longsword away and take that sword off your back, draw it out, and you continue onwards. And then you hear a low growl in front of you from the darkness as you push through bushes, and there seems to be a small clearing ahead. Okay, Gauros just growls back.
I ready my battle axe. There we go again. Could have been such a peaceful night.
What do you do?
You just ready my battle axe and slowly go further.
Okay. The rest of you?
After my low growl, I will attempt to sneak forward.
Okay. Give me a stealth check.
1.
62. I doubt that.
yeah. Okay, let me redo this.
Well, where did he go?
Yeah, the
No
half-orc
one
turns
has ever seen
one-dimensional. You cannot see him unless you look down from above, and then he's only a dot.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is, hold on, where am I? Yeah, I'm going to...
There we go.
I'm gonna ready my bow and I'm gonna stealth off into the woods, see if I can get an angle on this noise.
Certainly. Give me another stealth check. So Gauros is trying to be stealthy, but he's failing pretty miserably, stepping on pretty much every single branch on the floor, on the forest floor. However, Fenris is much better at it with a 20, 15 plus 5, and just disappears to the left into the forest.
After a few steps, I just stand there and wait.
Okay. Artman raises his lantern.
Yes.
And you can see the lantern falls onto two corpses. One of them is dressed in plate mail, the other one is dressed in chainmail. The one dressed in chainmail, the one dressed in plate mail, in fact, still has its helmet on, and you see two small wings stretching out the sides of the helmet. It is now very muddy and dirty, but it is still intact. The one with the chainmail, however, has its helmet torn off, and you can see half the face is missing, as if something had just torn it off.
Does the man in plate mail have a white cloak?
Well, he has a cloak, which is brownish gray. You're not quite sure. Maybe it was once white. He's lying on his back, so you can't really see if there's a symbol on the cloak. But this could very well be the person you're searching for. The helmet sounds like it anyway.
Okay.
However, as you take a step closer to take a closer look with your lantern, you can hear this. Again, you look up, and you see two yellow eyes staring at you from the darkness, just a few feet away from the corpses.
I used the defend action.
Okay. So you bring up your shield.
Yes.
You bring your lantern up at the same time, and you can see this creature leaps into the light. It is humanoid, but gaunt, thin, with weirdly formed muscles underneath a grayish-white skin. It has this half-bestial face with large yellow eyes glowing in the lantern light, canines and sharpened teeth, and its hands ended large, hooked black claws that seem to be dribbling down a few black drops as it spreads them out. It seems to be dressed only in like a loincloth and has bare feet with small claws. And it just freezes for a moment as the light hits its face and then gives you this with its claws out. And we are in initiative. Fenris, you are up first. What would you like to do?
So do I see this thing as well?
You don't see it very clearly, but you do see that there's like a silhouette. It's sort of a little blocked by like bushes and such because you're inside a bit more inside the forest, but you can see it.
Right. Can I then climb a tree?
You certainly can. Give me an athletics check.
Yep.
11. Yeah, you're not super fast, but you make it up there.
Okay.
However, as you are climbing, you hear a sound like the one that the creature made, only this one is much, much closer. And you look down, and you can see a silhouette appearing from the darkness with a soft rustling of leaves and looking up at you. Just standing underneath a tree, only about maybe 5 feet or so below you, where your legs are dangling.
I'll continue to climb.
What do you want to do?
I'll continue to climb.
Okay, you're like, oh shit, and lift yourself up onto a branch. So that was your movement, and that was your bonus action, I'd say. So you still have an action.
Oh, can I then fire then?
Yeah, okay, yeah. You take your short bow out, off your back,
Yeah.
notch an arrow with slightly trembling fingers, and take a shot down at the creature.
Yeah.
Go ahead, give me a shot.
Okie dokie.
Straight up D20 plus your proficiency modif bonus. Plus
Okay.
5, yes, that sounds perfect. 24, yeah, definitely. You take the creature, the arrow misses its head by inches and sinks deep into the upper part of its shoulder where its neck meets its shoulder. Roll damage. It is not a sneak attack, sadly.
Right.
But you can still roll damage. So 1d6 plus whatever your dexterity is. Yes, plus 3, that sounds about right. Yeah, you see the creature that's facing you has this terribly weird skin. It seems nearly like it has like bone plates basically covering part of its skin. It is disgusting. But your arrow pushes through, dealing 7 damage to the creature. And the creature just snarls and shouts out in pain.
Okay.
Now the creature's turn. That one looks up to you and jumps up, trying to climb up the tree as well, going up and trying to swing at you with its claw. Let's see if it Yeah, it manages to climb up. It's a fairly quick beast. It manages to reach you and swings for your legs basically from below. Your armor class is 14. Okay, that will be a 12. So you manage to pull your legs up and just the claw just swashes through the air and tears open a small, like a rip into a branch, breaks one of the small branches below you. A second creature, the one that's in the light, just and goes immediately for the lantern itself and the man holding it and swings for Artmund. You just barely managed to push the lantern out of the way, otherwise it would have smashed the lantern. So its claws strike at you, and that will be a 15, which means that it does not hit. You bring your shield up, and the claws just with this disgusting high noise, just screech, and they leave behind the claw marks on your shield. A third creature breaks from the cover of the trees to your right, and goes immediately for Derek. And you're like, oh shit! And the creature jumps you, moving with blistering speed, and trying to actually sink its fangs into your shoulder as it tackles you. And that would be a 16, I believe that it would
Nope.
be. No, that is not a hit. It bites into your shoulder, but your armor is too thick, and you can feel its teeth, but they don't quite manage to reach your flesh. It's just hanging on you, biting you in the shoulder, but it doesn't manage to pierce through. And that was their turn. Derek, you're up.
With my shield, I just push it one step away and then try to hack at him.
Okay.
Natural 17, that would
You see,
be...
that one is larger
22.
than the other two.
Oh, nice.
The one attacking you. Not much larger, but it is a bit larger.
Okay, 22 to hit.
Oh, that is definitely a hit, yeah.
And
You push it back
that's
and
10 slashing damage.
Okay, pretty decent. Blood, stinking, dark blood runs out of the wound. It is hurt, but it is still more than alive. Close up,
So,
they stink. They stink disgustingly. They stink worse than any body, any rotting piece of meat that you have ever encountered.
I spit what I had in my mouth and
Garos, you're up.
ready up.
Garos he's creeping through, kind of growling at these things, and he looks up and he sees the thing, and it jumps down next to Adamar with a lantern, and that's the one I can best see in the light, I think. Or would you consider the one on Derek to be the?
No, you can see the one in front. The first one that you saw, it has these terrible scars across its face, and it just snarls in anger, trying to reach Artman and rip into him.
I'll let out a roar. Be like, "Oh, you will pay for the defilement of these creatures!" This action enter a rage.
All right.
And proceed to recklessly assault.
Okay, you step up and swing your great sword, or your new sword, your bastard sword, down with a mighty chop. That is a 20. Yes, that is definitely a hit. You chop into the creature's arm, deep into it.
For 9 points of slashing damage.
Nice. It lets
Natural
out this blood.
It's me, you horrible beasts, all of you! Come descend on Gauros and meet your doom!
That was Gara's turn. We have Artmund up next.
Do I know these creatures with any of my knowledge?
Give me a religion check.
No.
You would probably know. Actually, I would give you advantage in this because this is very much your specialty. It's like you're guarding the dead and such, so you might have already encountered these creatures before. In fact, these are ghouls. They are terrible creatures that were once normal people, but they were infested with some sort of infernal energy that has twisted them and turned them into cowardly, terribly ever-hungry predators that devour the dead and the living alike if they have the chance. And you know that they have a pretty nasty poison on their claws. And they're not easy to kill. They're tough.
Watch out, they are poisonous. And I drop the lantern and draw my sword.
Okay.
And channel divinity.
Ah, nice.
I'm going for a sacred weapon.
Okay, your weapon, your longsword, is it, right?
Yeah.
Your longsword flashes with light as the
Bright light
of
in
God surges through.
20 feet and 60 feet after dim light.
Okay, so it's a ball of light now as you raise your sword high, as the power of your God descends upon you, filling you with strength. Is that a bonus action or an action?
It's an action.
Okay, so that is your turn then.
Yes.
The creature, the ghoul facing you, just shies away a little bit from the divine light. Fenris, you're up.
Okay, right. Well, basically, I'm just gonna. Is this one below me still below me?
Yes, it is very close.
Okay, I'm gonna. Can I? If I did an illusion spell,
Yeah.
which I can do.
Yeah, I know. You have minor
Did
illusion.
does that mean, would that be my whole action? Can I do an illusion?
Minor illusion is an action, yes, so you could not attack anymore. It wouldn't help you too much in this very situation unless you come up with a really clever plan, because it's very close to you already and very focused on you.
I was thinking about making something like flames so he'd fall off the tree.
Not a bad idea. You could try. That would be an action, and you could try to like create illusionary flames on the branch he's holding onto, so it might let go.
Yeah, because it's not. They don't strike me as very intelligent, so they may not be able to see through it. So,
That is true. That is true.
Yeah. So what do I need to do to roll an illusion then?
No, you don't need to roll. I have to roll for the creature basically.
All right. Yeah. So I do the illusion of a flames in the trees.
Okay, you just a fire starts gushing from one of the branches the creature is holding onto. See if they're clever enough to see through it.
That's a great idea, sir.
In fact, it lets go and falls back to the ground. It lands on its feet without any problems, but it has let go.
Right.
And that was your turn. Oh, you have a bonus action, so you could, I don't know, try to do something with it. But
So what can I do with a bonus action?
you are a rogue, so you can do 3 things. You can dash, which is basically a movement action, so you could try to climb up further the tree. Yeah. You could hide, although that would be very unlikely to succeed because the creature already knows where you are, unless you roll really well.
Right.
Or you could disengage, which doesn't help in this moment because you're not engaged by any enemy.
Okay, what I'm going to try to do is, in that case, can I see if I can, because I think by dash, I can move a little bit further.
Your dash is, your movement speed is, I think, 30.
So
you could move up to 15 feet because you're climbing. Climbing halves your movement speed. However,
so is there a way for me to dash along the branch I'm on and jump over to another tree?
Yeah, you could do that. Like you're trying to get to another tree, or what you're doing?
Yeah, basically move over to another tree.
Sure, you can do that. That would be an acrobatics or athletics check, whichever you prefer.
I don't know. Let me have a look.
Sure, I think acrobatics is probably better for you.
Yeah,
it's acrobatics.
More than your strength.
So I'm going to double somersault over to the other tree.
Yeah, basically, that's what you're trying to do. Like ninja style.
Squirrel man.
Yeah, or that. 24, yeah. With extreme elegance and precision due to your elven heritage, you leap, you twirl through the air, and you land on another tree, still holding your short bow in your hand all the time. The creature's eyes follow you, and it seems slightly disturbed by the fire. It will, however, try to come after you again, climbing up that tree, but it doesn't quite manage to reach you. It starts climbing up that tree, swipes at you, but it's still a little bit out of range. It's about 10 feet away from you at the moment. It can't quite attack you. Right. The other 2 creatures, the one that's in the light, hisses and strikes at... it will strike at Gauros, because Gauros struck at it as well.
Yeah.
And it seems to shy away from the divine light a little bit.
I use my reaction and put up my shield.
Okay, so you impose disadvantage on the attack?
Yes.
Excellent. Yeah, the creature strikes out towards Gauros, but there's a shield in the path and blocks its claws. The last creature, the big one, has been hit by Derek with a pretty decent strike, and will now sweep its claws towards your face, trying to tear your face off. And that will be a 17.
No.
Not a hit. You hide behind your shield, and the creature just hits your shield without being able to hit you. Snarling. Derek, you're up.
I try to hit back.
Sure.
This is a... 1 moment. 21 to hit.
Oh, there, yeah, definitely. It is not quick enough to escape your axe.
And that's 5 slashing damage.
Okay, it doesn't seem too impressed with this one.
Yeah. I'm neither.
Gauros. What are you doing?
Gauros will look at this creature that's still fighting Adamon. Oh, thank you for helping me! But I will go and I will now frenzy.
Nice.
And just suddenly go into this burst of action, swinging while recklessly attacking, by the way.
That's
So-
2 attacks now. And both
So
with
that would
advantage,
be
so
my
attack.
first attack. Would be a
Yes,
total
that
of
hits.
23.
Definitely.
My bonus action attack.
Yep. I don't know. You can try.
I know that's one. There we go.
Roll on. Okay.
Buttons sometimes.
Yeah, it's still a 20. So you
Yep.
smash into this creature twice, just swinging your sword with full fury, or the new sword basically.
Max 14 slashing damage with the first.
Oh shit! What?
10
14.
slashing damage with the
Oh,
uh,
okay. So with 24
Raging-
damage, you just
yes.
smash into its chest, rip out the sword, and then take its head clean off. And just
Could I use my movement to possibly make it over to the other just chasing the squirrel in the tree?
You do not see that one yet. You have not noticed that one. That's somewhere to your left, about 20 feet inside the forest.
The big one then on
Yes, you
Derek?
definitely do, yes.
But then just immediately, just my ferocity, my rage, just, blood,
You
over to
kick
the other
away the
ones.
body of the creature you just killed, jump over it, and leap over across to the big one.
Yes.
Okay, that was your turn. Artmond.
Is still one in front of me.
No, that one just died. That were just obliterated. Got just obliterated.
Then I go for the same one as Kirk.
Okay, so 3 of you are now attacking the big one.
Yes,
Going in with your shining sword.
with the shining sword.
Oh, no.
Sorry, goodness.
Wow.
And I use Divine Smite.
Okay. That's 2d8, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Uh,
3 points of damage. Okay. Whew. It's still alive, just barely, but still alive. You stab it, and there's light pulsing in your blade, and the wound starts burning. Stumbles back, and it nearly falls, but still somehow holding on to this mockery of life that flows through its veins. Fenris.
Yeah.
Still have that creature climbing up to you. One of your arrows is still stuck in its flesh.
Well, I'm going to stick another one in its flesh.
Okay, just calmly. Oh yes, very much a hit. Straight in the face, the cheek. Roll damage. 6 points, not bad. Again, you pierce its armored hide, and the arrow strikes through its cheek, breaks in its mouth. Blood starts seeping out through its lips and down its jaw. 6 points, okay. Yeah, it looks already pretty decently injured. Not close to death, but not that far either. However, it will now lunge up, will reach you finally, and take a swipe with its claws. And it will hit with a 16, which means you take 8 points of slashing damage, and give me a Constitution saving throw. And you fail. You feel your muscles tense and cramp up, and all of a sudden you can't move. And the creature just starts licking its lips, with its own blood still dripping down. Derek. Oh, yeah, sorry, the big one.
Yeah.
I forgot about. Can still strike. It will strike now at Artmund, who has hurt it so much with this light blade he has, and we'll roll a 19, so a 24. That's definitely a hit.
Come at me.
strikes through your armor. And will deal 10 points of slashing damage. And a Constitution saving throw from you as well. As it just grabs you by the arm and just like breaks through your armor with its claws, piercing your flesh. 8! That is also a fail. You nearly fall down to one knee. Pain goes through your body and your muscles cramp. And you're paralyzed. That was their turn. Derek, you're up.
I want to maneuver myself that I can flank him.
Sure. You can do
And
that
then
with Gauros, yes.
Try to slash him.
With
The first one
advantage.
was a 14, the second one was an 18, so 23 to hit.
That does hit. While it's still clutching the paladin, trying to basically go for his
That's
throat.
12 slashing damage.
How do you want to kill it?
As he tried to, he grabbed the paladin, and I just want to
he's holding the paladin by his
slash
arm.
his arm off, and then do
Okay.
a backhand through his body.
Nice. The hand holding the paladin, and the hand still holding the paladin. The claws dug into his flesh, but the rest of the arm is just gone. The creature just stares down on its stump, and then with a backhand slash, you take it in the face. And it flies actually through the air, hitting a tree behind it, and it slides down.
Did I see the other one? The third one? Because I was a
give me a
bit
perception.
behind. Sure. That's 8 plus 3, 11.
No.
Okay.
Gauros.
Any more foes?
Look around. Give me a perception check as well.
Okie dokie. Just the standard D20 roll.
Yes. You hear. You're like, and then you hear the noise of one more of these creatures, like somewhere to your left, and you look over. You don't see it, but you know it must be somewhere there. You can hear it.
I'll definitely run over, continuing
You
just to
break
yell
through the
and scream, "Come!" blindly.
and you can now see it above you on a tree, about 15 feet up. Which was, technically, you
Yeah,
still have
I'll
your action.
drop my sword and up there and try to grab it and grapple it.
You won't make it up there unless you roll really well. But you already used most of your movement, so you'd have to dash basically to get to it.
That would be my
That would be your action for dashing.
yeah. So yeah, I just want to go right up to it. I mean, if I can grapple it, great. If not, but
No,
yeah,
you wouldn't have an attack.
that's what I want to try to
for
do.
a grapple.
Huh?
You
Hey, I
wouldn't
got my
have an
bonus
attack
action
roll.
frenzy.
I think you can only do that if you attack with your action as well. I think that's.
You're correct on that. Yes.
Yeah, I'm 90% sure. I think it works the same as the offhand attack, so you can only do it if you like attack with your action as well.
Okay.
And since you can't do it, which also means that your rage drops, by the way.
Oh well.
As you
I'm right
climb
up there on
the
it though.
Yes, you are right underneath it, basically. But you have not been hit, and you have not attacked yourself this turn. So you go out of your rage, and which also means you take 1 level of exhaustion.
Which means disadvantage on ability checks,
Yes.
aka grapple.
Yes. Grapple.
Which is what I'm going to be trying to do.
Yeah, just as you reach up to it, you feel the rain and the cold air, the little bit of rain, cooling on your skin, and you're like, all of a sudden you feel a wave of tiredness coming over you. You hit the brick wall, so to speak. But the creature is in front of you, or above you, in fact. Artmund,
I'm paralyzed.
you are. Give me another Constitution check. If you're fighting the poison inside of you with all of your willpower. 18. Yes. You shake it off at the end of your turn. Yeah, so your turn is over, but you managed to stand up at least. I'll give you that much. Like you were on your knees, down on your knees, and you shake off the arm that's still clutching to you, and it falls to the ground, and it curls up slightly.
My weapon is still glowing.
It is, yes. It's not a concentration, is it?
No.
Yeah. So the weapon is still glowing. Fenris, same thing. Give me a Constitution check.
Okay.
Save, mate. Sorry, Constitution save. 15. Yes, you as well managed to shake off the poison. Sadly, that is your turn.
Okay.
But at least it doesn't. It can't. It's auto crit you anymore when it attacks you. It is now looks up, looks down. But ghoul always go for the weaker target. And so actually, Fenris, one more time.
No.
And that will be
Growling at it doesn't make you weaker.
Yeah, growling doesn't make you weaker now. That will be a 14. I believe that is a hit. Yes, it nicks you, Fenris. You're not quite quick enough to get out, and you take 6 points of slashing damage. You're still standing, I presume.
Yeah.
And another Constitution saving throw, please.
Okay.
As more poison pumps into your veins, following your bloodstream. You can just press the arrow, but this time you're not taken as easily, and you shake it off with sheer willpower. Derek, it is your turn.
I followed a Salvia spitting or half-orc who ran away. I guess now I see the goal.
You do, yeah.
I assume I can't reach it with my battle axe?
No, it's too high up, and there's already 2 people on this tree, including ghoul, and 3 if you include the ghoul. So there's very little to climb as well.
So I take my second hand axe, the last one, because I was too stupid to search for the other.
I'm pretty sure you would have picked it up.
Okay, thanks.
It was lying on the
So
ground
I take,
there, and you were
I take it then and then throw it at him.
Okay, flinging it through the air. You will have disadvantage on this attack because of the darkness.
No, I'm.
Oh, you're right. No, you're right. There's no darkness. I mean, there's a little bit of darkness, but there is dim light around you. You're right, with the blazing sword. Yeah, so no disadvantage.
16 plus 4 is 20.
That is a hit. The crossbow, the hand axe flies through.
6 slashing damage.
And hits him in the shoulder, or it in the shoulder, and then bounces off and falls to the ground.
Can I use my bonus action to pick it up?
Sure.
Then I will do that.
Ghoul's still alive, but not looking good, bleeding from several wounds. An arrow stuck in its face, an arrow stuck in its shoulder, the shoulder cut open by a hand axe. That was Derek's turn. Gauros.
Gauros is climbing the tree, and he's right underneath it, and I will reach up and grab him and attempt to grapple and drag him down.
With what hand are you trying to grab him?
I dropped my sword at the beginning. I figured I need the hand, so the sword's not there anymore. That's why I'm knock him off the tree.
Athletics check with disadvantage, I'm afraid.
Because I am, yes.
Nope. You're no longer aging.
I went from
advantage to disadvantage in one single turn.
A 16 and 10.
Okay, let's see. That is a natural 4 for the ghoul plus its strength. That is a 5. So you grab it. What you want to do with it?
Down, just fall.
Yeah, you
just make sure it pulls off the tree.
It falls past you. Nice. Yeah, it falls past you and you fling it down with all your might. It hits the floor.
And I'm going to land on it.
It takes 1 point of damage, and then you jump onto it. Give me another athletics check. As you basically try to jump with both. I'm assuming you want to kick it with like both feet. Just land on it.
People's elbow on it, but yeah.
Okay, sure, you can do that as well.
Disadvantage on this also?
You would not have disadvantage. This is an attack, not really like a...
Oh, okay.
It's not, I mean, it's basically an unarmed attack. So you actually do jump. 14 is, yeah, just barely a hit. And you land on it. Roll damage. Oh, actually, no, you don't. It's an unarmed attack. So that would be 1 plus your strength modifier.
3 is my strength.
Okay.
Plus 3
so
is
that
my
would be
strength.
4 points of damage, and I'll give you a d6 because you're leaping down. Another d6. However, you also take 1d6 points of damage.
Okay with that.
Okay. You take 3 points of damage, and roll 1d6 plus 4.
1d6 plus, I got a 4 on the d6.
Okay, so that's 8 points of damage to the ghoul, which is enough to kill it. So, describe to me the finishing blow. Or elbow.
I just reach up, I'm so tired and weak because I'm like, I'm panting, and I just grab him, reach down deep into my orcishness and throw him down the ground, and then land with the elbow, breaking or cracking a rib at the same time, right into his head to pummel it in to where his forehead is now caved in.
Yeah, you cave in with the full force of your whole body and jump behind it. And you just smash its face in with your elbow. A sharp pain goes through your elbow as you take the 3 damage, but you're like continue to pummel this creature with your elbow until it stops moving, and then you stand up shakily.
Pick up the sword, carefully wipe the blood away from it, and be like, "This blade has avenged those who defiled its master's corpse."
Indeed.
Oh, I'm so tired now.
And with that, silence descends onto the nightly forest once more as the ghouls are destroyed. And you have found the body that you were looking for. There lies Sir Gregory of Red Roost, still mostly untouched. The ghouls have tried to gnaw at him, but his plate armor has so far protected him, and they were probably not clever enough to take it off properly. Yeah, you can loot both corpses.
Thank you.
You find another couple of pouches, all in all entailing about 12 gold.
Mm-hmm.
And on Sir Gregory, you find a fairly large ring that he has around his neck on a small string. It's a sigil, like a ring with his sigil on it.
Mm-hmm.
So one of those, what do you call them? The rings that you use for...
Yeah, for the letters, for sealing them.
Yeah, exactly. Signet rings, very large, like too large for like you could put like three fingers in basically. It's not made to be worn on a finger, I guess. And it shows this rooster with it spread out wings, and both its talons are clutching a longsword by the blade.
I believe that we should deliver that signet ring. While the coins are the scavengers, by all means, distribute them as you would amongst each other. The signet ring, however, I believe should be returned along with the corpse.
I just think for a
The
second,
house.
because I don't have those contacts where I could sell this. There might be some, but I don't know them.
You'll probably get like 10 gold for it or so.
Yeah, still, but the evening was good enough.
I may have those contacts.
You might, yeah.
No, this is just in my head right now, so
yeah, but
I just
you can
throw
also
the ring towards the
Fenris
orc.
climbed down from the tree, and you can also see the ring that Derek found.
Well, I'm going to go say, like, you know, when we got here, the body could have been scavenged already. What can we do about that? If the stuff's not here, we can't find it, can we? I mean, you know, somebody else.
I just held it like above me for the first one to take it. I don't care. I don't. So whoever is first gets it.
Ah, God.
You take it?
Who takes it?
Dallas goes for it. Fenris, do you also go for it?
No, I'm not interested. I'm not saying that if he wants to keep it, I'm not going to say otherwise.
Okay. Okay, so Garos steps forward, grabs the signet ring, and puts it into his pocket.
And you may find these men have no need for it anymore. You may distribute it amongst yourselves. But the signet ring, as I take it from you, I'll be like, I believe should go to the heir. Yes, along with the father.
I go over to Fenris, and in my head I try to calculate like how
What's
much.
your intelligence?
Yeah. That's what I say. I try to calculate like what it would be, and then I just
You're
give him.
tired. You're hurt.
Here, this is your share, and then I just give him 20 gold.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
While this is happening, I make sure the ghouls are completely destroyed.
Okay. So you walk up with your shining sword and you just hack into them a couple more times for good measure. Cut their heads off.
Yes.
Definitely. One of
We
them
also
was still
say a
tweaking.
prayer over these. Continue.
Okay, and then you head out once more, and you return to your cart and the mule that was nervously but steadily standing there. You load the body, which is fairly heavy in his plate armor. But two of you can carry it, and load the body back into the cart. And you realize, oh, this was a very good idea, bringing this cart. Carrying this body all the way back to the village would have been fairly exhausting, even if you were not already exhausted, even if you were still fresh, no fighting.
Yeah, don't thank me or anything. It's right.
And
Me.
all right, and you leave the battlefield behind. The stench of death and the silence, and sometimes not so silence, of the dead, ignoring the scavengers, the foxes, the ravens that scatter away before you as you pass through one last time. And then head back to the village of Ironbark, returning the body, the signet ring, and the sword to Sir Gregory's heir, Sir Gilbert, and Sergeant Anders. And you receive the rest of your money. And then you travel onwards in this war-torn land, looking for more opportunities and more deeds to be done. But that is a story from another evening, as we have finished tonight's one-shot with everyone alive and no PvP. I was sort of maybe expecting some at the end. But
Really concerned.
people did not want to kill each other. That's fine.
Sad.
Okay, thanks guys for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and to actually like it below the video. Let me know what you thought, and look forward to some more one-shots in the course of the next couple of weeks and so on. And I will see you around. Thanks everyone for watching, and we are going offline. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.